Dangerous Liaisons.
Ooh.
The song
Oh
that
my
has
god.
most frequently been called the most underrated song on this album, on Hellfire, and also,
I
without
I feel
people
that in a way.
actually underrating it. I mean, it is the lowest on Rate Your Music, which sucks, but I haven't seen people, like, dissing this track. I've only seen people, like, praising this track specifically, in the
I
comment
feel like
box.
it I feel like it has the energy of an underrated track
Yeah,
somehow.
it absolutely has the energy of an underrated track. Um, Especially from our friend here who thinks that this song is absolutely horrific and terrible, and is the worst song of the year. So,
Uh, Why did they start covering cardiacs?
um, no, I think this song, as far as Hellfire goes, I think storytelling is really awesome. I think the group does a fantastic job telling the story of the farmhand, um,
My fucking
killing
god,
somebody.
yes.
It
It's
ultimately
so
ends up
good.
being one of the less impressive tracks story-wise, which is why it's so low here, for me personally. But the
If it were
instrumentation.
any other album than Hellfire.
Yeah, yeah. The instrumentation is so fucking good. The way that it goes through all of these different little melodies and has that main
Oh,
melody, um, it's
oh
one of the
yes.
most jazzy tracks on the album, if not the most jazzy, despite also being one of the most wacko and proggy tracks of the album, in a kind of chord switch way, and it sort of does what Ascending Forth does, where it has all these different chord switches, but it pulls it off better. I think that it helps to
I agree. I agree, yeah.
establish a bunch of different moods and bunch of different ideas, um, and I just
It's better at defining those moods and ideas,
yeah,
and
yeah.
actually giving like substance to them and something that you can really feel.
Yeah, I love how beautiful the track is in parts,
Mhm.
um, because of that
Ooh.
jazz, because of that really strong jazzy flair that it has to it, but it also feels super mysterious and dark and twisted, similar to Eat Men Eat, but in like a different way, and it
Mhm.
fucking works so well. My biggest, like, my nitpicky complaint, annoying thing with this
Oh
track,
no. Oh no.
um, is that there's this one melody, um, that they do where, he's talking about, during the to sign away eternity with one stroke or whatever. There's this one fucking melody that is, like, the best melody of all time, and they play it once! They play it once! It's like, Black Midi, you have the best melody of the entire album and you play it once. Why are you like this? Um,
Oh my god.
so it is that frustration. I think it's not like a big criticism. It's not like, oh my god, they ruined the song. Um, but I wish that they had played that melody more than just the once. It has it's a that bouncy sort of melody. Um, it feels super theatrical and, like, explosive and really beautiful and stunning, and it really, I guess, storytelling wise, it wouldn't make as much sense, but I think that there's other parts of the song where they could have played this melody and incorporated it into it. Um, but you know what? It's fine. Obviously, the song is number 9.
Fair.
I think the song is fucking stunning. I love this song. It's underrated, technically, I guess. I get the intro of this song stuck in my head all of the time. I get different melodies from this song stuck in my head all the time, and there's so many of them, and it's just like, this song is so fucking good. Along with the Greep, having the his, like, most fucked, twisted moment vocally, singing, "It Wasn't Like a Pig Squeal," where he just fucking,
Oh
like,
my god.
goes absolutely crazy, which
Oh my god. Oh,
He's just
that
insane.
oh
Um,
my god.
so yeah, that's
Yeah.
I love this song, but that one fucking melody, they needed it to play it more than once. Also that other like kind of whimsical little melody that they play sometimes. They play that more, but whatever. It's just fine. Black MIDI will Black MIDI. The
Yeah,
song
yeah,
is stunning anyway.
yeah, it this is a fucking stunning song. I agree with you on this one. This is a good example of something that I don't feel like they could have made before Hellfire. Um,
No, absolutely not.
um, I feel a real maturity and just this real richness to this song that is so tasty. Both thematically with uh, oh my, like I mean, I can't fault you for thinking it's one of the less interesting on here just because the storytelling on this album is so consistently absurdly good. But I on this song here too, it's like holy shit, it just sticks out so vividly in my mind. It just implants itself in there, and it's just so vivid and unique with like the all the details about the character being a farmhand and
Yeah,
how that ties into the super disturbing pig squeal line,
yeah,
um, and just all these little details about it, like how he searches the strip clubs and bars and casinos for the black clad gangman, um, and there's like this really old timey vaudevillian almost kind of
yeah.
vibe to the
This song
storytelling.
this song is the album has vaudeville and musical theater all over it. And your music,
Yes.
is wrong and incorrect currently by not tagging it with it, but it's okay. Um, because this song and a bunch of other songs also, it's not on every song, but this song, yeah, it just like kind of sonically and melodically, it has a very theatrical vibe to it, while also retaining that sort of proggy feel. And
It
you said lyrically, I also think it kind of ties into the more theater type feelings.
yeah, yeah, and just like the whole Black MIDI time warp thing that's going on here.
The Black
Um,
MIDI time warp.
yeah, yeah, that's what it is. They just have a time warp. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. Um, but no, like, and mm, just musically, it's so fucking good. Like you were talking about all the it's very jazz influenced, and it has all these different melodies coming in and out that are just also beautiful and rich and evocative, and they just make me feel so much. It's really beautiful and lush while also definitely being dark. It's just really lush and rich feeling, and it has more beauty to it than it a lot of this band's other songs.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just so good, and it's a really good example of the maturation that I think Hellfire has shown for the band. But we'll get to those. We'll get to the other songs on the album. Don't worry. um.
no, we're ending the podcast now at number 9. The top
Okay.
8, you don't get to know the top 8.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Have a nice day. No, I'm joking.
uh. Oh my God, Lillian in the chat. Song 27 discovered. I don't know. I've never heard it.
You're
I'll have to
distracting
listen
us.
to
Stop
it.
distracting
You
us, Lillian.
you
Gosh.
are distracting us. Oh my god.
Um, yeah, is that all you have to say about liaisons?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Now we're into the shit. Like, okay,
Ye
we're on next level shit now. Um, this is a recent development. Okay, this next one is a recent development. Um, Recent development being this
Okay.
high. I didn't expect this song to be this high, but I was
Ooh.
re-listening to Cavalcade, and then
Oh,
this song
no.
happened, and I was like,
Ugh.
you know what? This song is kind of the shit. Number 8 is Slow, which I've seen
Ooh.
many
Eh,
people say
hey.
is their best song, at least from the Cavalcade and before it's Cavalcade and before era. um,
No, yeah.
um,
No.
I'm sure that's changed with Hellfire because lots of people love Welcome to
Hurting
Hell or
her.
whatever. Um, but I love this song. I've always loved this song, but I think once I re-listened to this album I've kept re-listening to it, and the song has grown on me more and more. Um,
Yes.
I think the way that this song balances the really big, brutal, like hammering in sounds and proggy noise elements with the more lush, subtle jazz rock um, that we know and love. Cameron's lyricism on this album, on this track, really simple, um, but obviously it's also incredible with this feeling uh of death and kind of
Yeah.
suicide that kind of ties into it, and kind of waiting for death, and not being an active participant in it, um and kind of having an existential crisis in the song with this insane fucking that bass riff, which with those two chords, the guitar riff that's just so hypnotic and lovely. Um,
Yes.
the way that this song goes through all of these different phases of itself, and the way that the saxophone is fucking incredible. I love it, and the way that it goes into that really dark atmospheric bit where it's mostly just kind of the drums just kind of dripping with this atmosphere, and the bass, and it goes into that descending, I guess, a weight line where the bass matches the vocals, and it's just so fucking juicy. And then the
Yes,
piano and
that
the
part.
sax come in, and it's just like, oh, just fucking
Woo!
melts me, and turns me into dust. Um, that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
subtle little bit where it just has this where everything cuts out and it has this acoustic guitar that sounds like lo-fi for just like a short period of time playing that one melody before it hammers back into you. And it's just fucking incredible um choices. Um and of course
Yes.
the song ends the same way it begins, with this fucking hammering in, with kind of the death happening. It's fucking fantastic. Top 5 songs about an existential crisis.
Yeah,
Black MIDI probably. Uh, I
yeah,
bet. But this song has definitely grown on me, and I think it's fucking insane. I love the jazz influence and the subtle details in it. I love Cameron's voice on this track and the lyricism and all the everything is fucking insane. It's fire. People were right about this song when it initially dropped. I was wrong. I thought this song was mid. I'm sorry.
no. It's a Cameron song, oh my god.
It is a Cameron song. We have like I think we have one more Cameron song after this.
Oh my god.
I'm
Uh,
actually kind of
uh,
surprised, but it makes sense. I get it. I get
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm glad this one has grown on you
Yeah.
because like I don't for me this was actually a pretty immediate one. I was immediately a big fan of this. This was one of my cavalcade favorites. Um, like Discord moment. But it is basically just like a somber existential reflection. Um, this existential crisis put to song. Um, and it's reinforced so well by the music. Like there's not a whole lot to analyze lyrically, although it is really powerful. It's just like a simple and direct, powerful message, um, or feeling or vibe, I guess. But yeah, just the way that it ebbs and flows through the more, um, I guess more like reflective sounding verses. Like it's so weird that there's this energy to it with that constant dun 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 guitar riff, but it's so muted that that constant energy just gets kind of put in a box and put in this weird somber reflective mood. Um, um, but it just reinforces the theme of the lyrics so well for me and puts me in such this feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course the way it builds up into the big dissonant proggy sections where it gets heavier and you know it just builds up through the song into this big crescendo at the end. It's a banger, you know. I mean, it's more of a somber banger, but it's a banger. It
It's
goes
a
hard.
somber banger.
It's a
Black
somber
MIDI
banger.
inventing new sub modes of music.
Yeah, that like reggae, but
Yes.
obviously different, but like very much also a somber banger kind of thing going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
don't know that. Yeah, it was one of my immediate faves, and I still love it. That's
Yeah.
basically my take on it. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. All right. Number 7 is 27 questions. Hellfire Closer.
Oh, oh. I, this is weirdly low for me for some reason. I don't. Mm, okay.
You expected it to be higher?
Yeah, but also I kind of know what type of songs we're getting into, and it kind of makes sense in a way, but also
Okay.
but also not, but also it does.
Yeah, I this song just it's such a fantastic fucking closer. The lyricism, the way it wraps up the album, it brings back all of these different fucking uh songs, the different little subtle details from different songs into this one
Mhm.
song. Um and the way that it leaves off the album on this fucking fucked note where it's like, yeah, yeah, we're at this point in time where we laugh at people fucking exploding. Uh, um, after they give their fucking will as 21 questions.
Oh my god.
I I just fucking I think that this song it works so fucking well. The marching type sound that calls back to the first track, all of the really lush instrumentation being twisted into this fucked dark wacky song. um the fucking
Yeah.
that little accordion or harmonium or whatever the fuck it is during that one part that's just fucking playing its
Mhm.
discordant notes out of complete disregard for anything else that's happening. The way that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
song is one of the most theatrical songs on the album, obviously. um just
Mm.
the dark, heavy riffs of this song. It's probably the heaviest Black MIDI song,
What?
um,
O
in my
okay.
opinion. Okay.
Mm.
um, although, yeah, I
It
don't know.
does have there is it does get pretty heavy, it might be according to some definitions, but that's like some metalhead philosophy that I'm not gonna get into.
As far as like dissonance goes, this song
Okay, yeah,
leans
yeah.
very a lot into the dissonance, and in a way, it feels sort of like a callback to something like Schlagenheim, which I think Cavalcade has moments of dissonance, but it doesn't lean into the dissonance as much as Schlagenheim does, and this song kind of does. Um, and of
I
course,
didn't think of it like that before, but I kind of see it now.
yeah, and of course, everything on this song is fantastic, but the star of the show, and it really, if the whole song were just this, it would be even higher. Which I mean, it would feel incomplete, but it's my favorite part of this. Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. The actual 27 questions bit of this fucking song
Oh my
is
god.
so absolutely breathtakingly stunning. Um, the way you think it's gonna be this fucking annoying, like, I had my apprehension, I was scared it was gonna suck and be annoying, um, but it ends up being this absolutely beautiful, um, with all of these instruments just all swirling around each other, and this sort of playful nature of, the will given, in context of the song, knowing that this kind of beautiful moment is going to be fucked by the ending, and kind of tying into the inevitability of terrible shit. Um, it's just which ties into um, kind of the idea of impermanence, which the race gets into, but we'll get into that later.
Oh
Um,
no. Oh my god.
yeah, and I fucking it's such a fantastic song. It's just a perfect song. I basically think all of the rest of these songs are basically perfect. Um, so well, that, that's not
Oh
necessarily true.
god.
It's a complicated situation, but I think this song is just consistently stunning. I think that the actual 27 questions of it is perfection, um, and just I fucking love this song. It's grown on me a lot. I when I first listened to it, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it's grown on me, um, a lot, to the point where obviously it's at number 7. So there you go.
Yes, I'm glad. Oh my god. This song. So yeah, it is it's really good as a closer to Hellfire. It just as a song, it has big closer energy to it. I know you've had a little bit of mixed feelings about that. We might get into that or something. I don't know. We'll
I've changed
see. But
my mind. I've changed my mind,
okay, yeah, yeah.
and
But
I'll get into it when we get into the full album discussion. But I've changed my mind. This is a banger closer. Yeah, it works
okay, yeah,
very well.
yeah. Based. I very much agree. Yeah, and it's theatrical as hell. It's super dissonant.
Mhm.
I love the dissonance on this thing. I love dissonance. I love dissonance, and this gives me a
What
lot of it.
what Aradia the Swans fan and the Natural Snow Buildings fan liking
And
dissonance?
the
The metal
ulcerate
fan?
fan, the one who stands a bunch of fucking Disso Death albums, who calls Gorguts obscura pop music. Oh god, that's gonna get me hate mail.
No, this is also pop music. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's all pop music. We can
yeah,
pop is simply a format of music that does not correlate to the instrumentation used. Sorry,
Yeah,
I just
pop,
needed to. Okay, I mean, this song
no,
isn't really
pop
pop
music
because
is,
there's
well,
not really a chorus on this song, but you know,
pop music can be based. Yeah, oftentimes is extremely based.
yeah, pop. Depending on it, it can be my favorite genre. So yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, metal people can be, you know,
No. But oh God, where was I even going? 27 Questions by Black MIDI. Oh yeah, okay. It's dissonant. I dig it. It's sick. It has some real heavy moments, especially like mm, during the well the ending bit. We'll get into the thematics of it to the extent that we can later. But that ending bit is like a fucking doom metal riff, a sludge metal just slapping you in the face with this huge heavy bass distortion, guitar slam down, with that dissonant fucked up piano doing that ascending motif over it. That is heavy as fuck, I will agree. And you we get to hear like lots of cool dissonant proggy weird theatrical sections throughout the song, and like there's a lot of cool imagery and little details and callbacks and stuff like that. But um oh yeah, one hell of a character in this song, um of Freddie Frost. What an interesting being. um
yeah,
um and his 27 questions.
that are
Yeah, that
only 21.
I've never actually counted them. I don't
It's
know for
21.
sure.
It's
It's
21. I counted
21.
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course it's 21. That it isn't quite 27, is it? Yeah, I never bothered to tally them up for myself for some reason, but even if he didn't quite make it all the way to 27, it's still a immaculate section. Oh my god. The Black MIDI could never have made something like this before Hellfire. Just first off, musically, um, it's just beautiful in a completely different contrast from the rest of the horrifying terror and weird theatrical dissonance of the rest of the song. It's playful and full of energy and bright and hopeful, and I love, oh my god, I love it. It's so good. I'm just realizing how much I love it right now. Um um and then the actual questions themselves, uh mm, yeah, that's some real shit. My thought processes can look kind of like that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Sometimes yeah, he asks some pretty fucking existential questions, some pretty interesting things to ponder. I went off of Phoenix after it was released, and I posted responses to all 21 questions. Of course, like the first time I heard this album, I was too drunk to understand most of the lyrics, and I didn't understand the character of the song, and I just addressed them to the general population and or the Greep. Um, but I did do that. Um, no, it's so good. It's just like thematically, and even with the rest of the song, all the little lyrical and storytelling details that are put into it. It and the ending where they laugh at this guy who is just trying to figure out the nature of existence and all these questions that plague him, and he's just like, what's your take on this? And then everyone's just like, ah ha 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 ha, yeah, you died. You blew up and exploded.
Yeah.
You died.
Something else I wanted to note is I think it's
Huh.
obvious that the implication is that it's the audience that goes to hell rather
I
than Mr. Frost.
I
Um,
I'm not sure. I
you're
I
not sure.
I don't know. Maybe I don't I don't know. Go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
I just wanted to note how well, because he specifically blows up like a
Mhm.
hot air balloon, which rises.
Uh-huh.
And so to me, the implication was that he ascends to heaven, along with kind of paralleling ascending forth, just because they're both ending tracks, which is not much evidence at all. Um, but I think that the that's the kind of implication. I don't know. We don't really know much about him. There's no real reason for why he specifically should be going to hell, as far as we know.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to
I
note
mean,
that.
it mentions that he gets red and there's like something about Satan's siren at the end, but
I think that's just I think it's supposed to paint the irony.
yeah,
I
I
think it's a bit of irony, which this album is loves irony.
yeah,
So
I
I mean, yeah, I guess you could be right, but I have
no, I mean,
my feelings about that.
I
I
said
also think
I don't
I also think it contrasts the beautiful nature of his own section with the really hellish, fucked, dissonant nature of the kind of from the perspective of the other character.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I certainly don't think he deserves to go to hell for asking those questions, but I I don't know, there's like some kind of like play there between the dissonance of like with what might actually be deserving of punishment and things that are just like weird religious dogmas that you could technically go to hell for. Like he probably said some things that were technically pretty blasphemous by some people's standards,
Right, but
but
I think
I
yeah,
think there's like some kind of there's an interesting tension at play there that could be explored.
yeah,
What were you gonna say?
nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I could go into like a whole fucking spiritual rant or whatever, but I those are some good questions that talk about some pretty interesting stuff, and they're interesting theming with that whole framing as we just talked about it, and that that ending is pretty fucked up where everyone just laughs at him and goes home. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and uh, like I don't know. I'm not gonna get into answering all the questions or whatever. I think I've pretty much discussed this song well enough, but it goes.
it goes. Yeah.
And
Um,
Black Midi definitely could not have made it before Hellfire.
no, and it's a very Black MIDI song to make too.
Yeah, yeah,
It's such a
absolutely.
Black MIDI type thing to make, and it's just, they're awesome. Um,
Yeah.
so contrasting with that is my number 6, uh, Marlene Dietrich,
Oh my
um,
god. Oh my
which might
god. Oh my god.
what is it, Aradia?
I you'll see. You'll see. I'll talk about it.
Oh boy. Um, this song, okay, now I mean, I basically think every song here is perfect now. Not really. It's complicated. My brain hurts. Song lengths need to just be consistent. Every song needs to be 10 minutes long so that there can be a standardization of length between all songs so I can make this easier for myself. Um
Quality
but
comparison.
what?
To offer a good quality comparison without length getting in the way.
Yeah. Um but you know what? Just whatever. It's number 6 right now. And I just this song has always been one of my favorites on Cavalcade, but has recently really struck a chord with me. Um,
Oh my god.
I I love the theatrics on this song, how it kind of foreshadows Hellfire, but instead of being a lot more just big, more silly theatrical, the song takes it in a more like serious direction. And I guess that does,
It's like an intimate club performance.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like an intimate performance of watching somebody on the stage. Um, and this kind of like confliction of uh of somebody of this performance and pain in performance and in acting, that I think Greep just fucking captures so eloquently and beautifully and perfectly on this track. um the lyricism is incredible. I haven't seen the movie that's being referenced, so I'm sure that would probably make me feel better
Oh
about
my god,
the song. It would probably
there's a Black
improve it
MIDI
more.
movie. I
Yeah,
can't believe there's a Black MIDI movie.
it's The Blue Angel, um, which whatever.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
on
oh
Black
shit.
MIDI. Black MIDI just hate me. Um, but I think just all of this kind of and making this song that is this appreciation of this art and this bittersweet nature of art, um and artists and acting, it's just fucking incredible.
Um,
And the
yeah.
fucking the strings on this song, I was not ready for it. I was not ready. This is the first Black MIDI song where we have like lush fucking strings. And it's just like and there's I'm pretty sure there's a fucking the cello here. Um, the way it's
Yeah,
just it
yeah.
captures that essence of kind of a bittersweet performance on stage. The subtle the subtle acoustic guitar bits, the bass line, so juicy. Um, and the fucking it's just it's so good. It's so beautiful and so delicious and yummy and fucking fantastic, and I love it, and I want to gush about this song forever. And it's only number 6, which I think tells you how I feel about the rest of the songs. Um, but it could be like number 1 on some day, but probably not. Um, I just fucking this song is incredible. I love it.
Okay,
One of the Greep's
there you go.
best lyrics ever.
Yeah,
Perhaps
okay,
his best.
okay, well, so, oh god, for a while, this song, this one took a minute for me. For a while, I kind of struggled. Well, I for a while I didn't know you were as into it as you were,
No.
but
I thought I
but
thought it was obvious.
I am I didn't really understand fully why. But like it, I I don't know. We'll talk about some of the other reasoning when we get to like full album discussion. But oh my god, what is happening here on Discord? I'm sorry. No, no. Um, like it took a while for me, but I mean, as you were talking about that theme of acting and that really kind of bittersweet and painful, but also beautiful feeling that you get from the theming, that started to sink into me, and I kind of started to get it. And then on this last listen, this very last listen to Cavalcade before the podcast to get ready,
Huh?
I finally evolved.
Yes!
I've yeah,
You evolved
I
from Corvus Squire to Corbinite.
yes, yes. Um, I see the hidden meaning in the song now. I see the other meaning to it. And I fucking transcended.
Good.
Um,
Correct. Thank you.
yes, it took me up until literally this last listen to understand it, but I mean, when I saw it, like I was like, okay, everything V has said about this song and also Cavalcade in general makes sense now. Um,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, I agree. I mean, whatever way you look at it, I agree. It is one of the Greep's best lyrics ever. It has a lot of really stiff competition on Hellfire. But this is like proto Hellfire lyricism almost.
Yeah,
Oh God, it's so good. And just like of course the musical backing too, with just like uh, the theatrical kind of loungy sounding music. I'm bad with these kind of genres. I'm
it's okay.
sorry, but
It's okay.
like it just sets a perfect tone and it builds up so nicely with just like these really nice kind of enigmatic and strange but really fitting chord changes and stuff that it goes through. It mostly it's a lyrical standout, but the music supports it very, very nicely. It creates a powerful experience and atmosphere that took a while to grow on me, but like holy fuck, I don't even disagree with it being this high up on the list anymore. Like
Yes,
now that I see the light, it is holy fuck. Oh my
good.
god, I love it. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, that's my feelings on it, I think.
Okay. Number 5. This is perhaps the most confusing song for me to rank on this list.
Oh
It's the
no.
most complicated song for me to rank on this list. Because I have a lot of really difficult and complex feelings on this song.
Oh my
Um,
god.
and it's still.
Oh.
Um,
Oh my god.
and I'm willing to this is Cameron's best song. Um, and I want to say that the first 3 minutes of the song are perhaps the most perfect music that Black MIDI has ever made. Um, I
Oh.
can't fucking explain the first 3 minutes of this fucking song eviscerate me into non-existence. And I know we have a friend of the podcast who thinks that it's the worst thing Blackbeard's done. And that's just a whatever, dude. You can feel however you want, but fuck. Um, and I know that it makes it sound like I think that the folk part at the end is bad, and that's absolutely not what I'm saying because I think the outro is also fucking incredible and lush and beautiful and stunning, which is why it's at number 5. Because if I thought it was bad, it would be lower and it would be an even bigger deal. Um, but just the way that this fucking my main problem with it, and the reason why it's not number 1, because it could very, very easily be my number 1 Black MIDI song, but
Oh.
I wish that either the song was a bit longer in the first half, it kind of expanded upon the first half more, or in the second half, it went back into the first bit in
Oh.
some way. Um, that in some capacity the song felt more complete. Because to me, it sort of feels like it's this brilliant, like perfect bit of music, and then it just kind of has this little build up with the folk music, with this ambience, um, that kind of you feel leads to something,
Oh
but it just kind
no.
of drops off, um, and ends.
Oh no.
And it's not bad, but I don't know how I feel about it. And maybe
Okay.
eventually someday I will get there and feel like this is like the best Black MIDI song. Um, but as it stands, I think I wish that the introduction of the song were a bit longer, or generally, I wish the first bit of the song, the prog rock folk bit of this song were longer. Um, and listen, I'm sorry because I'm going to be ranting about this song for a long time.
Oh
Um,
no. Oh
I
my god.
but just this fucking song, dude. Cameron is a genius, and I love him, and I love the group too. But there's something about Cameron songs, um, that tend to strike at something deep inside of me, even if it's less good, technically, like Eat Many is not the highest song on the album, but I think Cameron taps into something really magical and special on that track in this song. And I know people are going to take this the wrong way and people are going to have bad opinions about this. To me, this feels like being inside of the first half of the song feels like being inside of a fucking Disney movie that's like
What?
the most transcendent Disney movie of all time. Um, and obviously for me, I have very positive feelings about Disney movies, not the business, but like the movies and animation. Um, as an animation nerd, um, it captures the essence of Disney magic for me. And I
What
know
the
that sounds
fuck?
really dumb and cheesy
Oh my
and
god.
bad and stupid, but I promise you, it is a good thing. It's a very fucking good thing. Um,
Oh my
the
god.
chord changes on this song are beautiful and lush and stunning. The saxophone turns me into dust every single fucking time. It's so fucking juicy and beautiful and perfectly done. Um, the way the song builds and transforms over it, it's it's chorus, that the part where the horns swell up and then it pulls back into this more ethereal, lush little bit. Just also turns me into dust, and the gigantic piano bit, and then of course the bit with the hand claps. The fucking so fucking good. And the little washes of the fucking weird ass prog hits that come in are just fucking stunning and break my brain into mush. It's not at all what I expected. Um, and obviously Cameron crooning, just fucking letting it loose, singing, with the everything that you need bit, with just is one of my favorite. It might be my favorite Black MIDI moment ever.
Oh
Um, might
my
be.
god.
Um, just transcendently fucking beautiful and stunning and just breaks me. Um, and as I've said, the outro of the song is fucking beautiful and wonderful and fantastic. Um, I just, I wish it kind of went into something, but I love the guitar. I love chamber folk. Technically one of my favorite genres, even if I only like Fleet Foxes. But conceptually, it's one of my favorite genres, and this song proves it, along with another Black MIDI song that we haven't gotten to that is also chamber folk influenced. Um, just the way that it swells up and just it leaves you on this note, of peace. And it's fucking wonderful. And I've seen a lot of discussion about this track lyrically, about it fitting on the album. And my opinion is that I think the entire hellish framing of the album, um, Black Midi are a very intentional band. I don't think that they would put a song that has nothing to do with it on there. And I think what the song is going at is more so the kind of the hell is the framework of um the difficulty of being a queer person in society, and loving somebody that feels forbidden. Um, and look, we can talk about the fucking the bald baby meme all we want, but dead ass, legitimately, I think it is the best line of the song. And I think obviously we all know that bald eagles represent freedom, even if America's corrupt and all this stuff. But I think the line is this kind of internalizing your self hatred of yourself and wanting to be a bald eagle baby, being someone who is more free. Um, and just I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this fucking song. I don't know what to say. Maybe
Um,
you think that this should be number 1 from how I'm describing it, but I don't know. I just whatever. Um,
do you want to talk about the thing that Lillian brought up?
I didn't see what she brought up. Let me see. Oh, the lap steel. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I have people should know by now that I have a kind of a gut instinct reaction against lap steels in a lot of contexts, but I think on this album and in this song they they use it sparingly and they use it as another layer of instrumentation, another layer of texture, um rather than kind of being the only thing that where it kind of takes the center stage. Um, I don't fucking care. It's fine. The lap steel is fine. It's also fine on the other songs. So yeah.
I'm glad you have grown to appreciate it and you're not the fucking enraged like you were at first.
I was mad. It's
um,
okay. It's okay.
has redeemed itself now. Have you said everything you want to say about it? About
I think so. For until my brain goes off again.
if you go off again, that's okay. I have a little bit different take on this, and that I also really love this song though.
Uh, your take is that it is a furry song and that Cameron is a furry.
Yeah. Okay,
All
next
right.
song.
All right. Time to go to
All
number
right.
4.
Um, no, like I love it, but I think I love it in a different way than you do.
Okay.
Like okay, so just first off, like just the melodies and everything, and just the songwriting here, and everything is just so fucking satisfying in a similar way to that we were talking about in Dangerous Liaisons. But it obviously I know you think this one is a lot better, but like there's that same kind of magic here and that same kind of sense that th- this is like a really, I don't know, this could have been on the early Black MIDI albums that were just all about explosive energy for the most part.
I think this song could have fit in on a
Well,
cavalcade, but
yeah, I don't know.
it fits in better here, and I think the fact that it exists in Hellfire, which has this concept and framework, makes it a lot more cryptic and a lot more interesting to kind of think about how it ties into the concept of the album,
Yeah,
and as I said, um, but yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's just like this certain sort of melodic composition or something on
Yeah, I get
Hellfire.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think the
Yeah.
prog bits of this song, like the weird prog blasts, as I'm gonna call them,
Oh god.
um,
Oh,
would not have been on Cavalcade, you know?
yeah, and well, just like the way that all the melodies work. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing something weird, but well, I can't necessarily say I relate it to Disney magic.
I
I respect that take.
I'm sorry, I don't know any other way to describe it. I, like, literally don't. I just whatever.
It might be that same weird melody magic thing that I'm trying to describe.
There
It,
is a
it
melody magic, you are right. The melodies on this song are, like, the best Black MIDI's ever done. Um,
yeah.
so
Um,
I yeah.
yeah. It, it's really fucking good. It's just so perfectly written. The prog blasts that you were talking about, where it gets all loud and dissonant and fucked up, are just such a great contrast to the sweeter, country western flavored almost, but in such a delicious and awesome way. Um, and in just such an unexpected way with the theming that you've gone into probably better than I could. That stupid bald eagle baby line, that stupid line, um, that it obliterates me, and especially like the way Cameron, um, the way he gets really down into the low register of his
Yes.
voice during that line.
Yes.
It's just so tasty. I love the sound of his vocals whenever he does
Mhm.
that. Um,
Yeah, I prefer him as a vocalist. I think that's what my Cameron bias mostly comes down to is me preferring him as a vocalist. Um, obviously, I love them both, but I think Cameron's vocals, I don't know, I like them more, I guess.
I'm not sure I could pick, but he really does it good here. And he is a really good vocalist in general. You are absolutely right about that. But it's fucking beautiful and weird, and it's it's amazing and magical and with its melodies, but also filled with these fucked up prog blasts that just shatter the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think this was the most painful thing for me because
Uh-oh.
I have kind of an opposite take in the sense that,
You like the second half more?
yeah, as as much as I do love the first half, and
Mm.
I think it's amazing and awesome. Just oh my god, this with the second
I
half,
mean,
especially,
I'm not gonna diss you for the second half. I mean, I
yeah,
also think it's stunning. I just, if it were by
yeah.
itself, I think I'd feel differently than I do as it being attached to the the end after the first half of the song.
I think you may have some kind of mind bending thing going on with that. There's some
Yeah.
kind of next level perception. Um,
Okay.
but
The, the only
I
the only person in the world that understands the first half of
no
Steel, besides Cameron.
no. I I mean maybe I don't know. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? That I feel like I'm the second half understander. B- whatever. No, but like I just think the second half when it has that build up with that haunting as fuck acoustic riff repeating, and like the nature samples and the ambience that we just drift off into, that
It needs at least one bird sample, and then I would give it a 10.
oh,
It would be number one if there were a bird sample.
You know what? I don't even disagree with that. I think that is a completely fair take.
It's a frog. I'm
Am
pretty sure that's a frog, but I guess it could be a bird if I'd
am
have to do
amphibia.
some yeah.
No, Lillian, we're talking about amphibia now.
Yeah,
No.
sorry, we swerved into Amphibia. I
Yeah.
okay, this is the song I probably have the most to say about besides maybe my number one pick. Okay, so just calm
I
down.
I also have a lot to
Okay,
talk about. We'll be done with it eventually. This is the soundtracks for the Blind of Black MIDI podcasts.
yeah.
um, um, but the second half of this song, I told Fee that it was like a fucking liminal space, and I still stand by that statement. I d- it draws me into this unimaginable headspace when it just goes off into the ambience of the second half, and it just entrances me and immerses me so hard into this such an unbelievably haunting and powerful atmosphere to me. I'm not even sure how to explain it, but it just sends me so hard that I can't even complain about it not
That's fair.
just drifting off, you know, because yeah, I love the first half, of course, but the second half is the one that really, really like draws me into a magical space personally.
So what we
Um,
need to do is combine our love for the song into we need to merge and
yeah,
make it the
yeah,
number one song.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we need to do. But I think, yeah, I think that I've said all about I want to say on it.
Okay, there we
Lillian,
go.
yes,
That was a lot. Um,
yeah, that was. We
Listen,
both had a lot
we
to talk about.
stop underrating Black MIDI songs. Okay, number
Yeah.
4 um, is the last and best song off of Cavalcade. Number 4, Conjo Malaysia Patella, which was, of course, my favorite Black MIDI song before Hellfire came out. Um, and still to this day, obviously, you surprised it's not number one after Black MIDI released Hellfire? Come on now. Uh, uh, and
Oh
I
my god.
fucking love this song. Part of it is because this was the Black MIDI song, the Cavalcade song that won me over, of Black MIDI's new direction. Um, I listened to this song
That's
and I
fair.
was like, you know what? This song is fantastic. It's wondrous. It's beautiful. It's just it's energetic. It's explosive. It's everything I want. Um, and it made me revisit the other two tracks and slow grew on me and John 50 took a much longer to grow on me. Took Hellfire for me to be like okay yeah I get it. Um,
Oh my god. No, I do think I remember this like being the first song from the Cavalera that you really appreciated and weren't like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and this song has only grown on me with time, I think. Um,
Uh-huh.
I the fucking riff at the start of the song, the wacky guitar, the chugging, that has like this really subtle chord switch in it, that I really love. The drums, the energy that gets built up, that fucking wailing horn that goes
Yes.
insane, the way that it feels like you're gonna get mad at me. An improved version of Boom Boom Boom.
Oh my god.
During that slamming part. Um,
I'm
just
I'm less mad than you might think, but still a little bit.
yeah, and the little guitar riff that goes under it is so fucking juicy and
Oh
pummeling and
my god.
delicious.
Yeah, yeah, that
Um,
holy fuck.
and then of course the thing that fucking sold me, the song goes into being just stunningly beautiful, which up to this point, obviously, Slow had some moments that felt a little more in line with beauty, but it was always really dark and tragic and fucked. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the jazz rock section on this fucking track just it lifts me away. It gets me. Um, it's just absolutely astonishing and beautiful and fantastic. And I love the guitar, the piano, that
Mhm.
fucking
Oh my god, yes.
piano that just plays those little chords as with that jazzy chord switch. Um, the Greep singing about knee pain, I guess, something. Who
When
fucking knows?
whenever whenever I get knee pain now, I think to myself, "Oh, there's my chondromalacia patella."
Yeah. This is definitely the most cryptic song, it's the most Schlagenheim-like song as far as lyrically. Which makes
Yes.
sense because this and John 50 were the first two songs written after Cavalcade, after Schlagenheim, I believe, because Matt was still in the band when they were performing it. Um, but I mean, lyrically, I've had a very hard time trying to pick apart what this song means.
Yeah,
Um,
same here.
and part of me just thinks that it's a bunch of really beautiful lyricism or fucked lyricism, but I think there's a good argument to be made that the song is kind of ties into the title track from Hellfire, and kind of uses the framing of D-Pain, which is very silly and Black MIDI-ish, um, but turns it into this like really poignant reflection of mortality and of death and the white
The
rock.
gradual decay of the body.
Yeah, the gradual decay of the body and the diamonds, and everything, and him singing about whatever, and the block top, the beast of
Can
the night time.
Franken Borentis
It's
Satsuki
Potsuki
Abori.
Bori, beast of the night time with the black creatures making nests, no needle can rapture. I mean, probably doesn't mean fucking anything, but who cares? The lyricism on this track, it fucking makes me go insane positively. Um,
Mm,
obviously the black creatures making nests giving me crow and raven imagery, um,
yeah,
which it's a
because
positive.
we're
Um,
nerds.
uh, but I think that, but I think it ties into the sense of decay and death, and I think it feels less like it's about the single incidence of knee pain and more about this kind of global, like large sense of collapse and decay and
Oh
trying to
my
fight
god.
against that. Because the diamonds are really hard to destroy, and the beauty that contrasts with that, and just having that as like the main contrasts that happens, and always crashing, screaming, relentlessly bashing, and this kind of like destruction, and the contrast between these two things, and the contrast of creatures making nests that no needle can rupture, of this like the impending nature of life coming into that.
Oh my
um
god.
and it's such a fucking just absolutely stunningly gorgeous, beautiful fucking song,
Yeah.
in this middle part, um, which gets fucking just annihilated by this screaming fucking noise guitar that explodes my brain into a billion pieces and just fucking wrecks it, in a good way. Um, and of course, the ending of the song, where it goes into this fucking race, fucking half, go fucking fast, insane speed shit is just absolutely insane. Um,
Love it.
and I fucking love this song. So many people, I don't understand. I mean, I get it. I get why this song isn't as beloved as some of their other stuff, but I've always loved this song. It's always been one of my favorites by them. And it's only grown on me with time. Um, I'm
Yeah.
glad that the stereo version is the real
Oh my
version and
god.
not the mono version. Real ones know. Uh, that
Real
that
ones
was
know.
that was a wild period of time. Um, but yeah, this song is fucking insane. And I love it, and it's brilliant.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, okay, so like I got into this one pretty immediately. It wasn't really like a slow grower type, like something like Marlene, for example. It had an immediate appeal, but it's also like it's taken a while to fully sink in and reveal all its depths to me. Despite that, yeah, like uh, you've covered a lot of it pretty well. I think that it's definitely like one of Black Midi's. It's definitely a fucking insane, awesome technical instrumental workout with all that super detailed jazz rock stuff with all the
Mm.
weird off kilter timing and such. That weird guitar riff and all the amazing drumming. Um, yeah, it I think the main thing that sticks out to me about this song in particular, though, um, for some reason, I think of this as being the most colorful Black MIDI song.
That's
Um,
interesting. That's fair, yeah. There's a lot of
yeah,
color imagery of pink and white and black and blue, diamonds kind of implied with the blue. Yeah,
yeah, and the golden ringing of the morning bell or
yeah,
whatever. But also in the instrumentation, like how you have those gorgeous piano lines like you were talking about interspersed with all of the complicated jazz rock stuff, and then for the diamonds line you have that twinkling music box, and when he talks about the bell there's like that ungodly reverbed processed whatever it is instrument that just absolutely annihilates my entire soul. Yeah, and it's a very dense song. There's a lot going on in here, and it has a lot of energy, and it's very colorful. It's very dark. And despite having that immediate appeal, it has like it's a really interesting vibe that I can see y- like needing a little bit to sink in for people maybe.
yeah,
But it just absolutely obliterates me. And of course, it gets really, really insane with these loud screaming horn parts, and where it speeds up to hyper omega ludicrous speed at the end, and then drops out into that weird electronic with
this
whatever
the
sound.
slide down.
Yeah, the weird slide down and buzzy ending thing. The really fucking weird choice, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think I think the thing that prevents me from saying that this is, like, the best Black Midi song, because I think
Mhm.
it could be, um, I is in retrospect of the production of Hellfire, I want to hear this song in the style of Hellfire production. Um,
Interesting.
'Cause I think if it were produced like Hellfire is produced, which it would be just, uh it would probably, explode my brain in a good way,
I
but it would explode my brain.
I mean, it depends on how it came out. I think it has a unique vibe to it, like that colorful feeling I was talking about. That as much as I love Hellfire and think it has better songs, I'm sorry,
Ooh,
that
interesting.
that 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 colorful vibe isn't really something that shows up as much there, and I think is something that really makes this song in particular unique.
Right, right.
So
That's fair.
if it preserved that quality of it, it would probably explode my brain too, to
I
be
think it
fair.
would. I think it would. I think it
Yeah.
definitely would. Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, it rips instrumentally. It's one of the most cryptic Black MIDI songs lyrically. Um, and it took me a while to really piece it together because, like, well, obviously there's like that knee pain connection, but it's written in this really abstracted poetic style where it's
Mhm.
just like a bunch of these weird images being thrown at you. And for a while, I just kind of like took that and absorbed the weird surrealistic atmosphere of the whole thing. Um, and it ripped that way too. Like, I certainly enjoyed it. I think I've slowly carved out this narrative from the lyrics that I solidified on my last Cavill listen again, the same one with the Marlene incident. Um, but
I
it's
see.
it's yeah, it kind of goes along with that Hellfire title track theming of like aging and death and decay of the body and problems cropping up and the whole suffering of that. And but there's also like I'm a fucking nerd, so I see like like the diamonds and the black beasts are like this person getting ready to get building up the energy to reincarnate into something based and epic, grow raven thing, what the fuck ever, nerd shit, as their body decays. Um, it's some pretty fucking good shit, I think. I don't really know what that's almost certainly not the intended meaning, whatever that may be, but
Who who
that's what
knows?
I get from
Maybe the group knows. The group is
maybe
secretly an insider.
I who fucking knows? Anything is
Oh
possible.
god.
But yeah, I actually think talking it out here has helped me realize how awesome it is, how much it fucking rules.
Yeah,
And I liked it at first, but it's just been slowly, subliminally growing on me and growing more and more powerful this whole time.
yeah,
And it's awesome and unique, and I love it.
yeah, awesome. So, Cavalcade, now it kind of sits as the weird middle child in Autechre's discography.
Attack!
Ah,
Yeah!
no, no, I'm
Yeah!
saying Autechre's discography, Black Midi's discography. Um,
Yeah! Attacker.
sorry. Of Black Midi's discography. And I obviously I love it, and I think it's a step up from Schlagenheim. Um, Definitely now. And it sits on the border of being like an 8.5 and a 9 for me. It really just depends on if Ascending Forth wants to cooperate with me on any given listen. Um, I think my main problem with it lies in kind of the sequencing. I think it
Ooh,
feels
okay.
really incohesive to me. As much as I love both Marlene and Chondro, obviously, I think them one after another is weirdly paced. I
Okay.
don't know. I think Ascending Forth needs
I
to be the ending song. I don't know. I think Chondro would be better in as a deeper cut, I guess. And Dethroned kind of taking its place, maybe a little bit of swap or something. I don't know.
mhm.
Something like that. Although it relies on diamond stuff, so it'd be hard to do that, but whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Um, okay, that's interesting.
I think it rocks. I think it's a step up. I think it's more inventive. I love the layered production,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
the introduction of piano and jazz and saxophone, and even I guess more instruments like cello and stuff on some tracks. It's just absolutely fantastic decision. Um, and obviously, you can probably predict that Hellfire is my favorite Black MIDI song album by now, where they step that up even more. Um, but yeah, it does sort of feel like a little bit of them finding their footing. Um, I will also note that listening to this album right after Hellfire brings out some of the weird production choices.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it fits the album. It feels more claustrophobic than Hellfire, which feels more expansive and large. Um, but
Okay.
it's definitely different and it's weird, and I like the production on Hellfire more, even if I think it does fit in most of this album. Um, so yeah, whatever. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. You, I have kind of a more similar take that to you than I was expecting. So like I think definitely in some ways it is an improvement over Schlagenheim.
Mhm,
Like the with on the more layered approach that they took here with the more jazz influences that they took. It's really a radically different sound than the first album. But I think that helped bring out some more layers of depth to the band for sure here.
mhm.
That you can certainly hear that for sure. But I also do think that it could be a little bit more cohesive and better
Yeah.
paced.
Yep.
Um, and even this, I have kind of mixed feelings because on the last listen, I realized that sometimes it can have well, I'll talk about it particularly, but there's a little bit of a more hint towards like um d- dynamics across multiple tracks, like where it can take multiple songs to reach a peak from a valley, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like how there's like almost kind of a consistent build up across diamond stuff through to the peak of dethroned, and then hogwash is a really high energy one before dropping back down to ascending, like that whole second half run.
Mhm.
um I think that's a kind of flow that I didn't really see on Schlagenheim so much, and I think is really interesting to see here. um but it not only is there no, and there's just overall kind of a nagging feeling that it's the track to track flow isn't quite as strong here, and it feels a bit more like just a collection of cool songs.
Yeah.
Not totally,
Yeah.
but that there's more of that feeling here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I, I, this is related to what you were saying, but a slightly different take. I don't know if this will make you mad at me.
Oh,
Um,
no.
but My opinion is that I think Marlene should be a bit deeper cut here.
That's okay. No, I don't have a problem with that. I don't really
Yeah, because
care. My only thing is that like uh I it pro- it's a good cool down after John L. Um
uh
and I feel like I mean it could definitely work though. Like you could put like Chondro after John L or something, even though but I also want Chondro in the second half. So I don't know. Um
yeah, that
put
yeah,
slow after John L. I don't know. Do something.
yeah. I haven't figured it out either, but for me it's I think it has a little bit more time to express its energy before I need a cooldown, and I think it's a little bit sudden right after John L for my tastes.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair. No, no, and I sort of feel that too, because as much as I do love John 50 now, it's like I know Marlene is after this, and you know,
yeah, and the well, aside from its flow, like just feeling weird coming after John L and before Chondro, and the both of those transitions being a little bit odd to me. Um, Also, just now that I understand the song like you do, the power of it,
good,
um,
correct. Thank you.
it's it yeah, it could be a deeper cut to have to like have its power waiting for you stored away until a bit later in the album rather than just like slapping you in the face and then leaving you to deal with all this other stuff afterwards, you know.
Yeah,
Um so I think that it could flow better and that song could be repositioned a bit better, but it's aside from my complex feelings about it. I do have quite complex feelings about it. And even the fact that it does kind of feel like a prototype for Hellfire in some ways. It still occupies its own place in the discography, and I am extremely happy that we have it. Um, it's lovely and consistent, and absolutely stands up to the other two albums, which is amazing considering how fucking much I love both of them.
yeah,
Um, like the fact that this one is like just up there with them. Um, it's a very powerful piece of work for sure. Despite my complex feelings, I still have a very very positive impression overall. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Cool. All right,
Oh
all right.
man.
So you know the top three
Ugh,
songs are from Hellfire, and you know what they are if you've looked at the track
mhm.
list before.
Oh my god.
So the tension is building. What will be my number one? What will be my number two? And once I
Oh my god.
give this one away, you're gonna know what my top two are. But number three, I
Ugh.
also want to clarify at this point. I think all three of these songs are perfect. Like
Okay.
straight up, genuinely, all three could be song of the year material. Like easily. But I mean, 2021 is a stacked as fuck year. But I and
Whatever
Concord
year it is.
Concord 22, yeah. Concord, by whoever, Black Country New Road, is my current song of the year technically. But I think it might have been dethroned by my number
Oh,
one pick. We'll see.
there there has been a lot of good music coming out in this blessed year of
Yeah,
1997.
yeah, this year's been fucking stacked. Yeah, and Concord is probably my favorite rock song of all time. And if it isn't, then it's my number one pick here. So yeah, it's a stacked year. Um, but that goes to show you how I feel about these songs. Okay, and all three of these songs could stand toe to toe with Concord, I think, or my favorite shit. So number
Oh
three,
god.
is Sugar Sue.
Ooh.
I know the fan
Oh.
favorite song. I guess actually, "How Welcome to Hell" is apparently, which makes no fucking sense. Rate Your Music is a defunct website. Um, but this fucking song, just just whatever. Just like it's
Excellent.
absolutely insane.
Just whatever.
Just whatever. Just listen to it. Okay. You don't need to listen. You don't need to listen to me rant about it. You just need to fucking listen to it. No. I was very excited for this song. I loved the KEXP version when it dropped. It made me very excited and hope that this it was going to be on the next album. Um, and then the single dropped, and my mind exploded into a billion fucking pieces, shattered, annihilated into nothing, because this fucking song is one of the most brutal, insane, energetic, frantic, manic, crazy fucking songs ever fucking made, not just by Black MIDI.
Yes.
Um, the balance between the intro, which is really this lush atmospheric bit with this fucking sax in the background going off before it fucking launches into the explosion with the saxophone going fucking wailing at the top of its lungs, and there's just
Yes.
fucking so fucking good. The production is so big and huge, and it sounds just monolithic, and it sounds like just bigger than life itself. Um,
I always get this really vivid imagery with that really huge fast riff. There's something in the sound design that always makes me really vividly imagine like the fast forward running through a crowd and all the people blurring together. That just this massive thing. You can keep going.
massive bang. Yes, no, I get it. I get it. Um, it just just the way that it just the production on this track is fucking insane. The playing on this song is obviously fucking insane. The part where the fucking
Yes.
horns kind of just like fade in, where they get louder, they crescendo in there, it's going crazy on top of this, all these textural fucking layers of insanity and brilliance and genius and wonderful. And it's just so fucking perfect. And of course, my favorite part of the song maybe is the part where it cools down for a moment and we get one of the most delicious bass riffs of all time from Cameron, on top of this just atmospheric kind of dark, mysterious bit where before the main event of lyrically happens, which I'll get to in a moment. And of course, it
Oh, God.
explodes again and it goes fucking ape shit. Um, and it's so good, and it has all these different layers of explosive uh horn riffs, and then of course the outro to the song, where whoever produced this song, Marta, or whoever made the decision to make uh Morgan Simpson's drums sound like that, needs to get every single music award in history, and
Mm.
be set for life, because it is the best, probably the best drum sound I've ever heard. Um, it fucking explodes my brain. It's so punchy and so delicious, and it's such a great switch up from the rest of the song, but it doesn't feel like it's unnatural. It feels like this natural sort of switch in the drum production and these drum hits. It's so fucking good. Um, it sounds like it's fucking like a drum and bass song, but like a good one. um, and of course, the melody at the end with all this, just it's perfect. It's a perfect fucking song, and I don't know what you want me to say. Um, and of course, going into it, lyrically, uh,
Oh,
the
oh my
song
fucking god.
the song is so fucking silly and hilarious, or not hilarious, but it's absurd. It's funny, it's absurd, it's fantastic, um, and of course, the short kid, um, the this child murdering a fucking boxer and the audience cheering and everybody going crazy. Um, but
Oh my fucking
I
god.
think here is an even deeper kind of implication here. I might have brought this up to you already, but I might have been saving it for this podcast. Um, where I think it more deeply, because every single song on Hellfire kind of feels like it has this layer, this one story that kind of seems absurd, but then there's kind of this deeper layer to it underneath it. Um,
Yeah,
and for this, it feels like it's supposed to be like a commentary um on gun violence as a mode of notoriety, especially in young people. Um,
yeah, yeah.
which you know, and it's also wrapped up in this kind of satirical story. And it's an absurd concept, but once you get into it, it becomes a bit less funny and a lot more like kind of haunting and mysterious, especially with a lot of the
Yeah,
more
yeah.
darker melodies of the song. Um, and I fucking love it. I love it to death. Um, and I think that the it ends up paralleling 27 questions in a really interesting way where the audience laughs and the audience also
Oh,
cheers
that's
at the start of here. They kind of have a similar person on this stage and that
well,
dies, and there's a nice parallel between them as this is kind of like the actual opening song of the album or whatever. Um
well, to be fair, the cheering was happening before the boxer was shot, technically, I guess.
yeah, but that I mean that's
I it's
true.
hard to
But they're
say
but they're
it's hard to say where it really fits in on the timeline. It's just like a sound
but
that could happen at any point.
they're still cheering. I think
I
that
don't know.
I think the implication is that they're still cheering even though he's dead and nobody
I
really
guess
cares.
so.
Um,
I think that might be kind of implied, yeah.
yeah, that's what I take from it. God, what a fucking song. What a fucking song. And it's not even the best on the album. There's
It's
two
third
songs
best.
I like more.
Uh, yeah, like I'm this fucking song. It's I don't know. You did a pretty good job of touching on a lot of it. Like the fucking the more lush atmospheric parts of it with the horn are so effective and so good. It's so tasty, and the really fast, super wild, heavy technical bits are just absolutely mind bending. They're so fast, it's like it gives that really vivid fast forward impression that I was talking about, just because it's so fucking intense and they're playing so goddamn hard. Yeah, I mean, as musically perfect as the song is, I think you've talked about that and we've covered that pretty good. And mostly what this sticks out for me is like the story of it. Oh my god, Hellfire! Why are you so good at this all of a sudden? It totally obliterates every other Black MIDI album out of nowhere. Yeah, it has this silly satirical edge to it. And there's like a lot of very humorous, funny kind of imagery. Um, in the song, and the just like its bizarre framing and atmosphere, like the whole boxing match thing it has going. And the yeah, it can feel kind of silly on the surface, and it is, but it's also like unfathomably dark and haunting when
Yeah.
you actually think about it. Like, uh, yeah, like just it's the kid. The kid murders the boxer. The kid shoots the boxer. The kid murders the boxer. The child. um,
Yeah, and I
and
also
he,
another thing I wanted to note is how it explicitly takes place like 120 years in the future.
oh my
Um,
god, yeah, yeah.
and so
Oh
it's
my
kind of
god.
making this statement that like nothing is fucking changed, or if anything, it's gotten worse, and people are like actively cheering this shit on. Um,
People have gotten worse about it. We haven't dealt with this. um, yeah, I agree with that observation. That's a good thing to point out. It's another Black MIDI time warp example too. To bring up that motif again. um, but it's fucked up how like everyone just kind of goes along with him in the song. Um, everyone just kind of gives him what he wants, and it's just like, okay, I guess the other boxer wins now, and you're the youngest executioner in tabloid memory. You get
so
all a bunch of fucking letters in prison.
I love the use of memory instead of history because it exemplifies like
Yes,
the
yes,
the fucking like the stupidity of it. Like the just it's not you're not there is no real notoriety. It's just it's like memory, you know? It's
yeah. It's just like it's not like real history. It's just like a thought. Like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think my train of thinking is coming across here, but that you're onto something with that. It's just like this uh, construction, I guess. And yeah, there's a lot of little subtle things in the song like that. But it's just really fucking powerful, and the way that the music backs it up is just it's perfect, and it creates this incredibly haunting atmosphere, like a lot of other songs on this album do. That this is Dangerous Liaisons, Welcome to Hell, like, but this is just definitely one of the most powerful examples. And
yeah,
yes, it's just so fucking good. I love the song so much. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Number 2. Is it number 2 time?
yeah, I think it is.
And you'll know what my number 1 is. And this
Yeah,
hurts me, and it hurts me because
uh,
both of these songs are legitimately, like, 2 of my favorite songs of all time. Well, Sugar Suit too, but I like this song considerable.
oh my god.
Um, you're gonna know what my number 1 is as soon as I say it, but just
Uh-huh.
know that basically on any given day, these could be my favorite song, and they're obviously 2 very different songs anyway, um,
Yeah.
very different genres, but I and it hurts me because
Oh
both of
my
these songs
god.
are my babies, and I'm seeing disrespect from both of them on Rate Your Music by both of them being rated lower than a fucking 4.7 when they both deserve it. They both deserve to be rated higher than, or at least on the same tier as the shit from the first half, but obviously, whatever. Number 2,
Oh my god.
The Defense.
God. Okay.
I and we'll get into the race in a moment. The Defense. this fucking stupid, dumbass fucking song. It is quickly approaching dream music tier. It is
Oh my
quickly
god.
approaching dream music tier. And if Black MIDI made an album full of this vocal jazz, prog pop, fucking theatrical, lush ass, whatever the fuck this is, it will immediately be a 10 for me. Okay? Along with Marlene, that shit. With this production, the fucking chorus on this song is so fucking huge. It's so fucking good. It's so unbelievably fucking massive and just drop dead fucking gorgeous. Um and the Greep just fucking crooning of prostrate supine,
Oh my
just
god.
absolutely insane and just stunningly beautiful. All of the strings and horns and all of the elements coming together and just the melody on this fucking song just it just I can't do it. It fucking destroys me. Um I just and the fucking the explosion, the first 45 seconds of this with it's just the of course the lap steel or whatever and the acoustic guitar and the lyricism about um the
Oh
pimp
my
and
fucking god.
okay, I will concede here. All right. If this song had the lyrics of Marlene Dietrich, it would be number one. Um
Ooh. Ooh, that
Which
ooh,
isn't
interesting.
which isn't to say that I think the lyricism on this song is bad. Um, and I think that it is extremely I love it, and there's the thing that I love about it. I just think that Marlene is the song that I feel I connect with better lyrically. I
Merlin
mean,
has
because
unbelievable
it's
lyrics.
hard to connect to pimps, especially as an ace person. Um,
My god.
but it's obviously from the perspective of this fucking pimp, who of Christian pimp, and it's so fucking it's funny, it's humorous, but it's also the dark irony of the song of this just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful song, um, and I particularly it's from his perspective because he's the one who's going to hell. But I think that the chorus, the more beautiful, massive part from the perspective of this of that's more about the people that he talks down about. Um, it's more about him talking about all these people that he thinks are going to hell when he doesn't realize that he is the one. At least in the Black MIDI universe. And there's just this dark irony that contrasts with the just absolute beauty of this fucking song. Um, The melodies are so fucking good. It's just so perfect. It's perfectly produced. Somebody brought up the way that Morgan Simpson's drums are doubled on this track during the chorus. It's fucking it makes it sound even more massive and genius and beautiful. And it kind of ties back
Yes.
into um this idea, this theme that I noticed. A lot of Hellfire specifically feels like it takes place in cities at night and kind of the dark underbelly of these cities and things that happen here. Obviously, not every track.
Interesting.
Um, of course, Aradia again is gonna have a different perspective on this than I do. Because I think it serves as an interesting way to kind of reflect on you know, city life. Um, and despite it
Oh
feeling
my
very
god.
theatrical and city-like to me, and me generally not liking that sort of feeling, I think that it's absolutely beautiful. I think that it captures the kind of beauty and wonder of a city so fantastically, but with this fucking contrast of fantastic. And of course, I haven't mentioned it. The best part of the song, the
Oh my god.
accordion. These bitches
Oh.
got the fucking accordion for this fucking song, and it's so fucking good. It's so good. I love this fucking song so much. It hurts. It hurts that I can't put it at number one. But you know, if this song were 7 minutes, it would probably be number one, but it isn't. It's unfortunately only 3 minutes. So once again, time, length makes things complicated and annoying. Um, but whatever. Just this fucking song is perfect. It's a flawless, beautiful, gorgeous piece of work that makes me just sit in awe and fucking cry tears of awe and just amazement from how fucking beautiful and perfect this fucking song is about a dumb fucking pimp.
um, okay.
Black MIDI are the best said sex workers' rights.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold on, coming back to reality. Yeah, okay, so I will be real here and say I there is I could probably maybe use a little bit more listening with this song. I think you're seeing something in it that I haven't uncovered yet personally. Like with how you're talking about it instrumentally. However, I will say that it is extremely lush, um, especially in the chorus, like with the doubled up drum tracks, like you were saying. It is huge and massive and has
Melts
it.
me.
Yes, it is extremely lush and beautiful, and I really love it too. Yeah, I that. They really themed the song like they did, didn't they? They went pretty hard there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like yeah. It it's fucked up that they made a song about. Um, no, not fucked up. That's not the right way to say it. But it's just like the contrast of the lyrical themes with like the super lush, beautiful instrumentation that you were talking about. The way they fit together is there's just I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a really powerful, interesting feeling. And I think instrumentally it is like a really fee core thing more so than an
yes,
Aradia core
yes.
thing.
I will
Um,
admit that this song was made pretty explicitly as an attack against myself, and to destroy me in particular, especially with the accordion, because the accordion fucking destroys me. Um,
oh my god, oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. It goes hard. I don't think I have as much to say about this as you do, but
that's
it goes
okay.
hard as fuck, and it's intense and it's intense and laid back at the same time. So
Yeah, I get what
thematically
you're saying.
intense. Yeah. Um.
Okay,
Yeah. I think I will generally defer to you on this one, but it rips. I love it.
okay. Number one, number one, best Black MIDI
Oh my
song
god.
so far.
Ooh.
Probably my song of the year so far. I haven't decided. I have to think about it.
Oh my god. I wonder what it is.
Uh, the race is about
Oh.
to.
No way. Holy fuck.
This
I didn't
fucking
expect
song.
that. Yeah, that they warn you before you get to the song. Like
This
in
this
that
song is
one.
this song is so powerful that it needed an interlude to warn you about it.
Yes, they the interlude literally warns you about the song, and then you hear the song and you're like, "Okay, I see why they warned me about this." Um, okay, did you wanna go off?
You can go. I don't. Okay.
You you
So
you
if you
you
want to, I don't know. If you want
you
to
should
go off,
go off.
you can go off. Okay. You want me to go off?
I
Okay.
I want you to go off, yes.
My God, finally, an approval from Lillian for putting this at number one. Which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That she loves this song, but the rest, whatever. Um, this song is just, it's one of those things where it's like, in context of the album, it makes the most sense, and because of the context, it doesn't really stand alone as well. So I guess you could argue that "Defense" is the best song. It stands as by itself, but this song is the best Black MIDI song, for giving the context. But even without the context, it's fucking genius. It's brilliant.
It's
It's fantastic. The way that, I gave "Welcome to Hell" a lot of shit. I trashed it. I said it was bad, obviously. Um, but the way that they reuse the riff from that song in this song, um, the way it's a sort of sequel of that song, following Tristan after, um after Welcome to Hell,
I
following him and also a lot of other characters, obviously. Um,
yeah.
and kinda the setting of the horse race. It's so Black
Oh my
MIDI, it's so absurd and just like a random thing that you wouldn't expect, but it works so
yes.
well and it makes perfect sense. And I have 4 head takes on this one. I haven't brought
Oh my
up,
god.
I haven't talked about my me often stretching, but this one's probably a stretch, but also I don't really care. Um, well, first of all, musically, this song, just listen to it. Just fucking listen to it. It's fucking insane. Okay? We have a constant like switching prog riffs, but it works just absolutely flawlessly in context of the song. Obviously we have the Welcome to Hell reprise kind of, it's different, but I think it's meant to be um the same. We have the really theatrical, lush, um like insane hype shit that comes after it. Um and
Oh,
all the lyrics from Greep about talking, preparing for the race, and all of the different characters and the horses and shit. Um, the way the song just goes
pretty
in and out.
interesting horse names.
Yeah, pretty interesting horse names. Especially Sun Tzu. Very, very nice callback, and
Yes.
uh, kind of subtle uh, reflection on how people kind of get honored as being named after, uh, how you, when you die, you will be honored by it being called a horse. Um,
Oh my god.
whatever.
Reincarnation
I'm
is
wording this
real.
poorly. Oh my god, I'm wording this very poorly. Yeah, it's a sequel to Chondro. Um,
Alright.
but the
Oh,
the the just the insane amount of different sections, and of course we have the Greek going rap god mode. But particularly about this section where it goes crazy is just how jazzy it is. And the fucking piano chords make it for me. They arguably make this the number one song for me because they're really subtle and kind of hard to hear the specific chords, but they're just so fucking lush and juicy, and it complements how fast and insane the song is going. We have Cameron playing the bass like a fucking double bass, which is so fucking cool to me. Really just laying into the jazz elements of everything while also being the speedy fucking rap, jazz, prog, poetry shit that's happening on this fucking song. Um, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And of course, we have it transitioning into that fucking 7/4 groove, which with that fucking riff is just so fucking delicious and insane and juicy and blows my fucking mind every single time. Um, but something else, of course, lyrically, the song is so dense. I'm not even going to be able to get into it all. But I want to mention particularly the way that in the midst of the insane the insane fast 7/4 groove part, um we have these callbacks to the original riff of the song, which is the Welcome to Hell riff. And it seems to happen when Tristan brings up something, the cabin, what cabin line,
Oh.
much like to me it reads kind of like moments of PTSD, um
Yeah, yeah, like
and
flashbacks.
yeah, like a brief flashback in the middle of it. And of course, I think this entire section is supposed to represent like the entire time that Tristan ends up staying at this fucking horse race or whatever because he's an addict now, and obsessed, which is of course another genius layer of social commentary about how we don't really give a fuck about our veterans and obviously don't care of the traumatized. Um, I mean,
Just
they're
leave
from the
them to.
UK, so I'm sure there's some difference in the war, but in America, you know, that's obviously a huge fucking problem. Um,
Yes.
and he just fucking stays, and all of the lyricism is just he just goes the fuck off. It's just insane. I'm not even gonna attempt to dissect it because it's just so fucking insane and incredible and fantastic and brilliant and wonderful. Um, and it just blows my mind. And then, of course, we have the outro. And obviously,
Oh my god.
chamber folk type shit is, as I've said before, one of my favorite things in the world. Um, and I think this song pulls it off better than Still does. Um, and I the way that it ties up the album and also the way that and okay, you know what, I'm just gonna this kind of just gets
Oh my
into
god.
talking about the album as a whole because it's kind of inseparable for me. um
Okay.
the way that I interpret this of Tristan having a spending his whole life here and then kind of this moment being this moment of reflection before he's dying to me, um,
Interesting.
is a revelation that kind of spits in the face of everything that kind of has been built up through the album or kind of the reputation of the the bad ideals that happen throughout the album. In its thesis statement, the clown could be a master, the clown could be a martyr, the whore can be an angel. Um, that line, the whore can be an angel, refuting the defense, which is the next song. Um, I feel like specifically, and just kind of different lyrics, different lines focus on something. And Tristan coming to this
There's definitely like
realization,
a thematic continuation.
right? Yeah, and with the infinitesimal, all sins irrepressible. Um,
Hmm.
I think
Oh my god.
Tristan comes to this realization that it doesn't matter, that it's the idea of hellfire is stupid and it's dumb and all things are temporary, and it ties into this theme of um impermanence. This particular bit
That's interesting.
very much ties into that, and I think that's also a theme within the album. Um, but I think in particular, it refutes the idea of eternal hellfire. is what I think it ultimately gets at, and that all things end up being temporary, and that the notion of this eternal hellfire and burning forever is silly. It's a silly notion. Um, and so for
Oh,
me, I
mm.
because of all of this, I thought of this as the kind of album closer, and I was a little bit confused as to why. But I understand now that this song is that. I think it's the moment where Tristan realizes, and the audience, I mean, the audience kind of already knows, but we have the character realize very fully that that this is all just temporary and it's bullshit. Um, and you know, it serves as a while instead the actual ending of the album is the the kind of everybody with 27 questions laughing at this person dying, and it kind of goes to show that nothing really changes uh currently, that there is no real happy ending of the album or like a
Yeah.
satisfying optimistic ending to the album, but there is that optimism inside of it. And I don't know, I'm probably rambling and this is all crazy. um I'd also like to note how I think the race is both the horse race and also kind of the race to the end of Tristan's life, it feels like.
Oh my god.
We have all of this time condensed into this one period. Um and it's just
Yeah, that's a good point.
this song is just fucking masterful. It's incredible. It's genius. It's funny, but it's also fucking existentially terrifying and existentially comforting and fucking everything in between. And I didn't expect Black MIDI to do a song like this. That's for fucking sure.
No,
And I,
no.
when I imagine it would just be like a funny fucking 7-minute story, but it ends up being this incredibly dense, layered, fucking complex, existentialist bullshit positive thing. Um,
Yeah.
and it's my favorite, and I'm excited to see where they go next. I think they could top it. I think it'd be hard for them
Oh,
to top it, but I think they can. It's obvious that they can to me. They just need to have more accordion.
oh my god.
Re-record the song, but with more accordion.
Oh my god.
No,
Less lap steel.
yeah. Well, this song doesn't have lap steel.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This is like the only song on the second half that doesn't have it. So
Yeah, alright. Whatever.
yeah,
Um, oh god, yeah. Yeah, again, you covered it pretty good, but yeah, for me, this is just like, this is absolutely unfathomable. It's one of those songs that just like goes everywhere and does everything, and and you can't even question it at any point because it's just like executed so fucking perfectly. Yeah, I love like the fact that it's like this whole reunion of characters throughout the album at this horse race, and like all
yeah,
the vivid description of all the things surrounding it, like the guys in the trench coats looking for the target horse to inject with tranquilizer to sabotage it in the race, and
yeah,
that weird little vaudeville flourish that it does. That I that's a weird funny moment to me. And just there's just a lot of things going on here, and like, well, okay, we'll kind of we'll go through this kind of one section at a time or something like that. Oh man, I love how the Welcome to Hell riff is repurposed here. It goes along with it thematically, like you were saying, and it just sounds fucking epic with all these weird little acoustic interludes and vaudevillian proggy bursts of dissonance and whatever. All that good Black MIDI stuff, you know. Uh, yeah, this song, I'm I'm not even sure if that middle part would technically count as a rap verse. I don't know. I'm not
There's
an.
an argument on Rate Your Music right now about it. I'm sorry I keep on
Oh my
bringing
god,
up Rate Your Music. I'm a fucking nerd, but
you are.
it is accurate. I think, I mean, I don't know if it's technically rap because it's more like him just like spitting,
Yeah,
going cray.
there's not like the typical flow to it. He's not exactly nimbly skipping across the beat here, you
Yeah,
know. Um, which isn't to say that it's bad, but you know what? I mean, whatever it is, it's like he's fucking spitting at 4,000 miles per hour. Um, he's going completely nuts. I haven't even fully processed like all the instrumental stuff under it just because this obliterates me so hard every time. And but yeah, everyone's going the fuck off under it with this insane jazz thing, and yeah, I like how it gets right up to the point where, and lyrically in the narrative, where the actual race is about to begin, and it gives you just a little bit of the race actually starting, and then it just launches off into this completely different territory.
yeah. The race the race was run.
Um,
Somebody lost, somebody won,
yeah,
and
and then
that's all that we get about the actual race.
yeah, and then there's just like at 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 flash course speeds, the Greep spits to you this existential rant, and there's just like these weird fragments of bizarre imagery and these like existential, philosophical, mystical things that pop up interspersed with these flashbacks from Tristan's time in the military or whatever, um, that are just uh it's really fucking weird, but it's just like so powerful, and it's unfathomable. It's fucking unfathomable is what it is. Oh my god, it's like and then after he just takes you on this journey into the at existential flashback land, fast forward, uh, time condensation, time warp, black midi, hell zone. Um, yeah, we suddenly just we just like fucking crashed right back into the middle of the horse race thing. Just the Greep just he just stops his ranting, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, and then this happened," and then and the fucking reporter with the horse in the stable. Oh, oh, uh, and then it goes into the ending bit that you were talking about, with that weird prog folky thing or whatever it is, and uh, I I think you already covered this pretty well, but that lyrically that it is just like it is peak existential moment. um I fucking transcend to it. um
Yeah,
it
it's
it
just so
easily
lush. So fucking well
It's
done. Somebody says said it
lush.
was a Fleet Foxes moment, which is true. It is a
Oh
Fleet
my god.
Foxes moment.
That's
I
fair.
who I stan very hard. Um,
Yeah, yes. Um, yeah, and the lyrics are fucking unspeakable, um, at this point during the last part. I am not even going to attempt to get into them in this podcast, but they're unspeakable, and I never expected to hear something like this from Black MIDI. Like,
yeah,
if, honestly, any of this song, but especially this last part, it could have definitely been the album closer. I agree with that. Although I always felt good about 27Q, but I
yeah.
also,
I think 27Q works better as the closer because it is more accurate to the actual state of things.
oh
We
my
still live
god.
in hell, so
Yeah, that is true, but this is also just like the massive climactic moment of the
right.
album, and maybe even Black Midi's career. This might be my favorite song by them too.
Good,
Um,
good. So far,
it
at least, until LP4 comes
yeah.
out and they make a 12-minute
Oh
song
my
about
god.
a raven going through metamorphosis into transcending.
And then they're in a rainbow tower at the end. Uh, oh my god.
Oh god.
y- yeah, this song. There's a reason they warn you about this one. They warn you, and then you listen to it, and you're like, yeah, they were right to warn me about this.
Yeah,
That's what this song is.
yeah, this song is fucking insane. Is that
Yeah.
everything you wanted to say about it? Then you could have.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right.
It really fucking owns me. I want to hammer that in one more time. This is unspeakable. Like holy shit. Oh my god. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so that's uh all the songs, all of them.
yeah,
I guess just to wrap up talking about Hellfire as an album, um,
mm,
I think it's obviously their best album. Their most cohesive, their most insane, their most fucking wonderful, lovely, best produced. Everything is on fucking top of the game. Even if Welcome to Hell isn't my favorite song, I still love it. I still think it serves a fantastic purpose because it obviously if that song didn't exist, then the race wouldn't exist, and that's the best Black
yeah,
Midi song. So yeah, I think that it's just fantastic, and I think it's full of subtle social commentary that just works super super well. Um,
yeah,
consistently blows my mind. Insane melody, insane everything. It's fucking fantastic. Um,
yeah,
and I hope that they top it. I hope that they end up making some more albums that might be better than it. But I'd be
yeah.
okay if it was their best album and they continue to make like 9 out of 10s and 8 out of 10s still. Um, don't get bad, but if they still just made awesome fucking music. Um, but this ended up being their best. I wouldn't be too upset, I don't think. But
Yeah.
I think they're gonna continue to improve and blow everybody's fucking minds. Um, so
Yes.
we'll see.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay, like for a long time, I was a huge Schwagenheim stan, and that was my favorite. It was fucking unstoppable. But I think Hellfire might have stopped it.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, it uh, it's just thematically and also musically, it's just so much uh, deeper and richer and more matured than we've heard anything else from them, and it's just such a more powerful and rewarding experience
Yeah.
overall. it's their most atmospheric overall, probably, which is a thing I really like.
Mhm.
Um, I will say I think Schlagenheim still has a certain type of momentum that I'm not sure this has quite as much, but like just just like about every other metric you could think of, um, like this absolutely obliterates the other two albums in a whole lot of ways and creates an overall experience that is just like I am so happy that they made me feel like this 3
Yeah,
albums into their career after we've already been like, "Oh, can they keep up the insane hype they've had?"
yeah.
And it
I think they're going to keep on continuing to live up to it. There's
yeah.
no indication because the two live songs that they have, I've listened to, and they're both fantastic. And I can only
Oh my
imagine how they're
god.
going to sound in fully produced form. And I hope that they stay with
Yeah.
Marta as the producer because just the production on this fucking album is incredible.
Yes,
She's
it
such
goes
a good producer for them.
yeah, yeah, I agree. The production is so great for the album and for this band's style that they have at this point. Yeah, and yeah, I hope that they continue on and like you were saying, if they did beat this, I wouldn't be too upset about that, of course, you know. Like if you can do better, I would really like to hear that.
Black Midi Heaven Water
And
coming soon.
Heaven Water. Oh my fucking god. Oh, they are gonna beat it. Oh my god. These fuckers. Oh my god, I cannot believe them. These British boys. No, yeah, it is almost certainly my favorite Black Midi album. It is, yeah, for right now it is. It's my favorite Black Midi album. It does things that the band in their previous incarnations could not have dreamed of doing, and I fucking love it so much.
I don't think I'd go that far because I think Conjuro and uh, Marlene and Slow kind of
Yeah,
approach. I think they approach it. I just think the production on those songs, if they were hellfired up, it would be they would be on the same tier as a lot of other stuff here. So it just depends, I
yeah,
guess.
and I think there are some songs that are on the same tier, but Cavalcade overall, like
Right,
it to a certain extent, it almost feels like a prototype of Hellfire.
right. I
Yeah,
feel that.
as
Yeah,
much as I do love that album, yeah, yeah, this is just like the perfection of it here. Yeah, and
yeah.
the flow of the album overall is great. It's comparable to Schlagenheim. It's a lot better than Cavalcade. Um, I'm sorry, I keep bullying that album, but I really do love it. Yeah, Hellfire though, Hellfire. That's where it's fucking at. Oh my god.
Yeah, I would give Schlag and Cavalcade like 8.5s, and I would give this a 9.5. I love it. I love it to
I would
pieces.
Yeah, I would do like a 9.5, 8.5, 9.75 or something. I don't know. Um,
Okay, that's fair.
yeah,
That's fair. Yeah,
yeah,
alright, I think that's everything.
yeah. I think we had just covered Black Midi.
Oh, that was an experience.
It
If
was.
you made it through this entire thing, uh,
We made it.
thank you
Yes,
for
and you made
listening.
it. You made it, listener, too. Thank you. Oh my god.
Give us a like, give us what your favorite Black MIDI songs are, maybe your own ranking if you feel like it. Thoughts, disagreements, agreements, problems, things that we might have brought up, all that stuff.
Yes.
But until next time when we talk about who fucking knows, we're just gonna do whatever we want and
Yes.
hope that you enjoy. Thank you for listening. We hope you have a great day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.